Danny DeVito, like, it's hard to say, but let's picture Woody Allen as gaining like 40 pounds of muscle, okay, and not having glasses, okay, and getting a faux hawk, okay, and carrying himself in a completely different way, but still having the same bone structure, facial structure. Okay, he could probably be a badass. Let's give him a couple of tattoos.
No.
Okay, let's throw a leather jacket on him. We could cast him in an action hero movie and have him kick some guys.
It wouldn't be believable. It would not be believable.
No, that's not true.
Why hasn't he been cast?
The reason why I know that you guys kind of went black pill is because the original red pill was saying, major factors to attraction are looks, money, status, and your behavior, or you could say your game, plays a role. But it seems like with the black pill, you guys kind of got away from the money and status aspect and just focused on the looks. Yeah. But another thing is that the new, I guess the PUAs are considered more red pill nowadays.
Yeah, that's how things have like changed in the last couple of years. So yeah, but what's your question?
They don't acknowledge. They don't really. So I'm going to ask Bulldog. That's his name.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, they acknowledge that looks matter and that, say, a Chad, a top 5% looking guy, has an advantage over a guy that's, say, below average. But could you acknowledge that the advantage isn't like 10, 20%? The advantage, the way it goes up exponentially. The advantage is orders of magnitude. Like in order for a below average guy, a guy that's, say, a 3 or a 4, to get laid, he has to exert 1,000 times the effort of, say, a guy that's an 8. Like, it's not even close. So what do you acknowledge in terms of how much of an advantage a good looking guy is relative to, say, a below average looking guy?
Yeah, so that's great. That's so
good question.
I agree with you for the most part that there's a steep drop off, right? There's like basically an amount, a looks cliff, right? That's how I would describe it. Is that where if you're below a certain amount of looks for women, that they're going to be repulsed by you. If they're repulsed by you, no amount of game is really going to like change that, right? If you're repulsive, okay, that's just a harsh reality. That'll acknowledge, okay? But if you're above that line, then still, if you're just barely above that line, you're going to have to do a lot more work than someone who is an 8 or a 9 or, but the amount of work that you're still going to even have to do it depends on what your outcome is, right? Like if you want to be able to like go and go out and fuck a different woman every night, and you're an 8 or a 9, let's say, or 10, like you're still going to have to do a lot of work. Like it's still going to be a ridiculous amount of work. Like, and I know this from experience. I know this from coaching guys, and I can tell you that it's way, way more work than if you want to do that, it's going to take a lot. Okay, you're going to have to learn a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a grind.
If you're like a 3 or 4 or 5, I mean, if you're a 3 or 4, you're probably really close to that edge of the looks drop off. But if you're like a 5 or a 6, it's going to be significantly harder, but it won't be exponentially harder than the guy that's, let's say, an 8. And the reason why I know that this is absolutely true is because, again, I know most of the guys that, and I'll tell you, like, straight up, I know a lot of guys in the pickup community, a lot of the guys that have the huge channels, and I know some of them are complete bullshit scam. The only way that I know sure if someone is if I go out with them and I see them actually have results. If I don't see you get results, then I assume that you're full of shit. Okay,
and who knows how many of those videos are using actors?
I like I said, I know these guys personally, and I know guys that I have gone out with and seen them get results, and I know guys that I have seen not get results. So. A lot of people even they're saying the right things, and what they're saying from a theoretical perspective is completely correct. But when it comes to execution, they're not able to execute on those. But I have seen guys and I have been there, and I have been in the situation where a guy that you would probably consider to be like a 5 has stolen away a 9 girl from myself or from another guy, and just because he just was right on. He had solid game. He knew what he was doing. He came up and he did. And when that happens, you're like, what the how is this guy taking the girl, right? But it happens. So that's why I say that, like, it's, yes, it is an unequal lever, but it's still a big lever, right? It still makes a huge difference, especially when you're talking a short term type of situations like that.
So one comment I just wanted to make. It seems
go ahead.
Yeah, it seems like there's a major chasm between, the say pickup guys and black pill guys. The pickup guys act as if online dating doesn't even exist.
Yes.
As if the only way men and women interact is in a drunken setting where everyone's drunk and you're at a nightclub, and the dynamics for that are very different. A guy that's extremely charismatic and is a 6 might be able to outperform a guy who's a 9 and is kind of not really taking action. But in an online setting, that's a very different environment. And it seems like black pill guys only look at the data from online interactions whether they're doing a catfish or whether they're using their profile and getting no results.
Yeah.
So,
let me just sorry, I'll get to this guy after. A point I wanted to make to Bulldog was that this assumption that you red pillars make, that you need to improve your game, obviously you do, I do agree with that, but how do you respond to the very real assertion that even if you do improve your game, there are guys who are good looking who have game as well? So if you're an ugly guy and you have the best game in the world, you still are nothing to... It's not as if ugly guys have the monopoly on good game and good social skills. So if you're an ugly guy and you have the best game in the world, there are still chads that have great game. So how do you compete?
Why do you need to compete? There's enough women out there that there's not a need to compete. I mean, if you're in a direct head-to-head competition, if you see a girl at a bar and the quote Chad sees a girl at the bar and you've both got solid game, then he's probably going to win out in that particular interaction. But then first
women
of all,
are fine with sharing guys these days. But you saying that there's enough women for every man? Not really, because the chads are monopolizing most of the women, and the women who are it's not their turn for chad, they will just wait for their turn. So, and they have no reason to date a below average looking guy, because they'll just wait for the next chad to come along. They have access to more chads. If they have to spend a weekend alone, they would prefer that than to date a below average looking guy with game. So we can't win when we don't have game. We can't win when we don't have looks.
That's not true. All of those statements are untrue. Okay, so first of all, the percentage of guys that you would even qualify in the Chad tier is such a small percentage. Okay, and you're most of the time when you're qualifying guys as Chads, you're looking at their online pictures. Like, you're looking at a picture. Oh my God, you know what? I mean, I worked in the modeling industry and in the entertainment industry for a long time. Someone's picture is not them. It's not even close to them. It is so different that it's an insane difference. Some of the guys that even you show their pictures, their modeling pictures on Tinder, it is so photoshopped. It's the perfect lighting. It's the perfect angle. It's the right side of the face. There's a ton of stuff going on that you don't even consider. So first of all, the chads that you think exist don't even exist.
No. That's a fallacy.
The percentage of them is way small. It's way small.
I mean, when I say chads,
I agree.
When I say chads, I'm including chad lights. I'm talking about guys who are above average in looks. I'm kind of using
above
hyperbole.
average.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hyperbole.
So, So again, even still, women have historically they will share a high quality man rather than have a low quality man. Now the quality is not just looks though. It's going to be way more than anything else. It's going to be status. Status trumps everything else. If you have someone that is high status, the women will flock to that man. Now, typically, someone who is high status also will have at least decent looks. But here's a real good example of this. Okay, so Jason Momoa, right? If you've watched Aquaman. Okay. Yeah. When that Aquaman movie was coming out, women were going nuts for the guy. Okay. Yeah. Now, the guy's been around for a long time. I don't know if you've seen Stargate Atlantis, but he was in that for a long time. In fact, he had a lot better acting in that movie. He was okay. So what happened here? Why is this guy suddenly become a sex symbol? Well, because he was propped up. No, it's status. It's status.
Are you saying happened? So you think that you could just exchange? I can't think of any ugly celebs. You can exchange Danny DeVito,
Woody Allen,
or Woody Allen. You could put Woody Allen in that role, and it would be believable. Come on, you don't. Not even you believe that.
No, you can't go that far. But here's why. Because see, the thing was, one of the things. If you saw the viral video where he was doing the haka dance, right? That I don't know if you're aware of that or if you saw that. No. But it's the reason why that is so made him into a sex symbol was because of that masculine energy that whole thing.
Okay, then. So you're saying that Danny DeVito and Woody Allen could do the same dance and they would give out this masculine energy and women would be attracted to them?
That's just not. It's not. They're too far along that spectrum. Right. In order for that to have that effect. Right. Yeah. So you have to be somewhere around. Now, if Danny DeVito, it's hard to say, but let's picture Woody Allen as gaining 40 pounds of muscle. OK, and not having glasses. OK, and getting a faux hawk. OK, and carrying himself in a completely different way, but still having the same bone structure, facial structure. OK, he could probably be a badass. Let's give him a couple of tattoos. No. OK, let's throw a leather jacket on him. He could probably be a badass, right? We could cast him in an action hero movie and have him kick some guys.
It wouldn't be believable. It would not be believable.
No, that's not true.
Why hasn't he been cast? Which ugly guys do you, even in cartoons, if you look at the Superman cartoons or Batman cartoons, they all look good looking, square jaw, masculine jaws, tall. It's just goes with it's a halo effect. It's easier. Rather, you have to tell a story in a movie or cartoon or film or show. Right. You have to tell a story in the shortest possible time, and you don't want to have to. You want people to look at the screen and instantly make assumptions. You want people to look at the screen and associate this guy who looks ugly and who has a hunchback with him being pitiful or evil or something. You want people to look at the attractive guy, see the tall guy, and associate him with doing good and helping. So it's just you need good looking people to portray.
Image is everything.
Easy, yeah.
The perceptions is everything. Reality is nothing. But perceptions can be changed and influenced. And that's what Hollywood specializes in doing. The reason why I brought up the Jason Momoa example was because before he did the Aquaman movie, was he considered a sex symbol at all? He was in a lot of stuff. He was in like I said, in the whole Stargate Atlantis series. No one ever said, "Oh my gosh, Jason Momoa is so hot." Never until the Aquaman came out, and it was because of how he was portrayed in the movie. It was because of that status of being in a superhero movie, as being the star in a superhero movie. Then all of a sudden, he became a sex symbol. Now, objectively, is he a decent looking guy? Yeah. Is his physique
more than decent?
His physique is pretty much junk.
Why do people?
Has it changed? Has the physique gotten better for Aquaman?
No, it's pretty much junk. It's not. I wouldn't say junk, but it's not anywhere above average physique.
Yeah, but what about his face then?
Most women that I talk to say that he doesn't, that it's nothing special, but there's something about him that's super attractive. Okay?
Again, that's women's inability to articulate what the women will say.
Right.
Women will say, "Oh, there's just something about him.
Exactly.
There's just something about all these good-looking guys who are 8 out of 10. It's not their looks. They just have this aura. They just have this vibe that I like."
But that's
okay. Where's Danny DeVito's vibe?
He doesn't have one, but he
doesn't have the face.
No, it's so much more than that. But trust me, Danny DeVito is not going to have any problem getting laid.
Yeah, have you seen his wife? Have you seen his wife?
Have you seen his wife when she was younger? Have you seen his wife when she was younger?
She is a horse-faced.
No. Look at the older pictures of his wife.
Terrible. If that's
they're height matched.
Look how ugly. All right, sorry to say. Look how below average looking she is, and Danny DeVito is a millionaire. So, that's the levels. No. That's how bad things are. It's even worse when he got with her at the time. Maybe money had a bit more attraction, a bit more draw to it was a bit more attractive. Nowadays, women have so much access to good-looking guys that money isn't as big a draw as it used to be.
Trust me, there are women out there that are obsessed with Danny DeVito. I'm sure of it.
Celebrity, yeah, celebrity. Whoa. Maybe. I'm gonna keep going with some super chats, and then I'm gonna move on. All right. So where was I? Trump said, "How much can plastic surgery help with face?" It's more likely. It depends on where your starting point is, but trying to look smacks through plastic surgery is a crapshoot. It depends on your starting point. It depends on start where you start from in your looks. At your looks level, it depends on how good your surgeon is. It depends on if you've communicated to your surgeon what you want. It depends on if he is willing to do what you agree with him. It depends on the materials he uses. It depends on so many factors. So surgery is a huge. It doesn't have much chance of making you good looking if you aren't good looking. I would say it's good at reducing flaws, but you kind of have to be average already for it to bring you over the threshold of 5, to bring you into above average looking. And but it depends on what surgery you're getting. If you're getting a rhinoplasty, that's different from getting jaw surgery, which is a bigger, it's the whole third of your face. If you're getting jaw surgery, that's going to have a bigger impact on your looks than a rhinoplasty. L. Jackson said, "People who see women as essential in life are poor." IS says, "Past experience equals women would say you're so handsome without knowing me. Some would say wanted to have my kids. Awkward on first meeting. I agree material possessions are irrelevant. At some point I felt harassed." James K said, "The wall is cope." That's referring to women's SMV hitting the wall. I would say women's looks hit a wall, but not their SMV. Their SMV does drop slightly when they hit 40, but the wall is, you have to differentiate between the wall for their looks and the wall for their SMV. Their looks hit a wall. Their SMV drops but doesn't go to 0. Lou1s.com said, "Searching for face and LMS hash 4922 pulls up nothing." I'm sorry about that. I'll maybe talk to you after. Puller22 said, "Face and LMS, please tell us how many subs you have." Not many. It's just about over 30k. It's not much, because I didn't used to upload many videos, so I can understand people not needing to come back. Special K said, "Neanderthals," or how he spelled it, Neanderthalas, "didn't need game." Jose Arriaga said, "Facial bone structure has more value than height." AMJW says, As someone with Asperger's, your videos put things into perspective for me. Thanks, man, and please keep up the good work. Right, those are the super chats from last time. If I refresh, I'll have some from this time. I'll get to those from today in a sec. Right. Do we have? Is it Red Pill Jesus on? Do you have a final point to make?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, make a comment about something that I guess isn't really touched on too much.
Yeah.
I brought it up on one of the last streams of how important, how much of an impact the smartphone has had on the dating market.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And how much it's not just the dating apps, it's also social media.
Yeah.
And there's this really, with regard to social media, there's this really good video that Roosh V put out. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah, somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a old school pickup guy, and he was talking about how just in the last 10 years, it has become incredibly more difficult to get women. And it's because some of the things that they would use to attract women, which is, getting women that, they have the nature of wanting to get validation and attention from, that 10 years ago, they'd have to do that in person. Now they can get all the validation and attention they want through social media. So that's taken care of, before they'd have to go on a date to get a man's attention and validation. Now they take a selfie and post it, and they're getting all the dopamine they need online. Yeah. So it goes even further than just having access to thousands of good-looking guys within, their city by going on Tinder.
Just to piggyback off your point, now that women have kind of grown up now, they're well, what's the word I'm looking for? It's become part of, well immersed. It's become part of their culture, the way their lifestyle now, to see guys on screen and to be validated by good-looking guys on screen. Why do we think that as soon as the screen goes, that as soon as they put their phone away in their pocket, that their behavior changes 180 to them allowing or being more attracted to personality? Obviously, personality matters more in real life, but sorry, let me just finish. If the woman is getting validation on her phone for a number of hours a day, then she puts the phone away. She's been looking at chads all day, talking to chads on Tinder. She puts the phone away. Why do we think that her behavior, her attraction won't continue away from the screen?
So first of all, women aren't attracted to personality. They're attracted to how you make them feel, which is a totally different thing. So, if you say that a woman's suddenly going to be attracted to, like, why isn't she attracted to personality? She's not attracted to personality. It's about how you make them feel. A lot of it is being a masculine man, is being sexual in nature. But to get specifically to your point, what women want is the validation that they can't get. And so when you're the guy in person that is not showing the woman the validation that she expects to get, that she's getting from all these guys online, then you do stand out, and she does want to get that validation from you. And that's one of the things that you have to learn to do as a man, is to not give that validation, not be the guy that's like, oh, you're so pretty, and commenting on all the photos and saying all that
only
stupid
if you
shit.
have value in her eyes.
Yes,
if she sees value in you, then she cares about your validation.
Right.
If you have no value in her eyes, she doesn't care.
Right? Women have the availability of a lot of guys. So when you have a high availability of a lot of guys, the looks start to become less relevant, okay? Because you realize that, I could get these 10 out of 10 Chad guys or whatever, but you know what? They're not really, there's not real super chemistry here. I'm looking for a guy that's, decent looking, that's that I would say is good looking, but one that I hit it off with better.